Hello and welcome to another episode of Race to Wealth, where we help you to get financially fit for your finances and your health. Yes.
On the Boss of Houston Network. I'm Vanessa Harrison.
And I am Delcine Thomas.
So
And
let's go ahead and get started with, we like to start our show out with the intentions of the show and then our story of the day. We're so excited that you guys are joining us on today.
Right.
So let's get into our intentions for today's show.
Right here, sister. And you get attention. Okay. So the intentions of the show today is to bring you or talk to you about find your dreams, your goals, and making your decision on what you want out of life. The title of our show today is "The Sky is the Limit." So again, that's what we're going to be focusing on and talking about. What's your limits and this being in the sky? What's your sky? Your sky. What's your limit? The sky is the limit. What's yours? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this show.
I am too.
Our story of the day today is it's a story that comes from Genesis. If you guys have ever heard of the book of Genesis, it's 11:19, and in this story, it's a story about how people really had a goal to do something, and the people all. Okay, so should I read this part? I'm going to go ahead and read it.
Yeah.
This starts at Genesis 11, 1 through 9. It says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass that they journeyed through the east, that they had found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto the heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men build. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have one language, and they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, they that have imagined to do. Anything that they have imagined to do. Let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore the name was called Babel, because the Lord did therefore confound their language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them from abroad upon the face of the earth.
Wow.
So these people had gotten together and decided that they were going to build this great, great tower, right? And even the Lord himself said, since they have decided to do this thing, they made a plan and they set out to do it, they will not stop. So he had to come down and confound their language. So when we talk about, the sky being the limit, anything that you set out to do, when you partner with others who are of the same language, of the same mind, of the same idea, there's nothing that can stop you from reaching whatever it is that you set out to do.
Exactly.
So the big question is, if you could build anything, or if you could do anything, build anything with your life, what would it be? And another question is, what are you building now?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. That brings me in mind of a story as well that I have read about, and it has to do with the sky is the limit. And it was unfortunate. This is an unfortunate situation, but there's a author, and a mother wrote a book in reference to her daughter. Her daughter had been in a bad accident in South America, whereas she was crushed by a boulder. Now, yes, that's horrible, but at the same time, there's definitely a light at the end of this tunnel when Vanessa's talking about what are you building, or where are you going in your life. And the thing about this, what this was about was the fact that this mother was on her way to get to where her daughter was, and before they could, rush her to the hospital. Well, they did rush her to the hospital, of course, and she is living. Just to get to some of the end of the story, but her mom had to make a decision, and she said, I have to make a decision while I'm on the plane on my way to get my daughter, which is, what am I going to do? I have to make a decision about finalizing my mind set to the fact that I will do whatever is possible to help to get to my daughter, number one, and then to make her life, to change her life back to what it was. Wow. And so, yes, so this story was awesome. So her mom got to her daughter. The mom got to her daughter, got to the hospital. And make a long story short, they started to transition her life. And the mom started helping her. They had to help her physically and mentally to transform back into getting back into society. Matter of fact, she was a graduate, had just graduated from Yale University.
Wow.
Yes, and going in her travels, this had happened. So again, her mom had to transition her mind first to go meet her daughter with this tragic situation. But for the mom, the name of the book is on Amazon. The Sky is the Limit. Her name is Miss Meredith. And she was talking about the fact that that's why she said her sky was her limit with her daughter, because she had made up her mind, whatever it took to help her rehabilitate her daughter back to life, that she would do that, and she did not stop. To this day, her daughter is back in society.
That is awesome.
Yeah, she's walking and thinking and talking.
Yeah. I love what you said about the mom made up in her mind whatever she needed to do to rehabilitate her daughter is what she was going to do to get her daughter back into good health, because she could have shown up with any attitude. She could have shown up with a, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. I mean, just imagine somebody really getting crushed with a rock.
Right.
You don't know what the mom didn't know what she was going to see whenever she got there, but she had already decided whatever it is. She knew what it was going to be.
Whatever it is, see that?
She knew what it was going to be.
That's right.
And it was going to be her daughter back in health, and that is so powerful. That's so powerful.
It was powerful.
Our minds are very powerful things. The things that we set out to do are the things that will actually happen if we're taking action in that direction.
Exactly.
Really, we say the sky is the limit. We put our own limitations on us sometimes when we are thinking about things that we cannot do instead of focusing on the things that we can do and the things that we will do.
Right.
So that's why we ask, what is it that you will do? What is it that you are building? That's super important to just know. Even to just know what you want to happen. That's the first step. Having a vision, like we were talking about in another episode. Having the vision and having clarity in that vision helps out so much, because otherwise, how do you even know what direction you're going in?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's powerful. But for all of the viewers, our friends, family, everyone is out there that's been in business or that has a vision for, a new vision in your life, for whether you want to be, you want to own property, be a real estate agent, you want to be a musician, you want to be a teacher, you want to just, you might want to even be a stay-at-home mother, and bring up your children. It's valuable. That's value in that. Because they get to see you every day, and seeing a mother, even a family, a mom and a father, when they come home, it gives them assurance. It gives them encouragement. You help to build them up. You help to keep their faith strong for whatever they've been through every day. And that's what we're talking about, that mindset that's going to help push you through whatever you want. You just have to go for it. You have to step out. And, if you that's what you desire, step out and get started. Yeah. That's number one.
And get started. And another really important thing to think about and note when it comes to growing into your vision, whatever your vision is to have a plan to scale in your business. And some people might ask, well, what is scaling in your business? Well, scaling is really knowing your numbers. You want to be on track to where you're going. So whatever your vision is, you set that vision, and it must be, I think, in my opinion, it has to be something that you've never done before, that you want to see happen.
Yes.
But you haven't made it happen ever before. Get that kind of vision, a big vision, one that, would surprise the people around you. Sometimes something you might be even afraid to tell somebody because they'll say, who do you think you are for thinking that you can do that? I mean, who do you think you are?
Wow.
You are this person, but you cannot let people tell you who you are and define you. Because your whole life you are defining who you are yourself. So being able to scale is important. And so to scale, it means to make something larger, to make something grow in number. So when it came to the people in this story who were building this tower, they started to scale this thing. They said exactly where they were going, and then they started on the foundation, and then the next step, and the next step. And you've got to know your numbers. A lot of times people who are trying to scale, they say, I want to be a huge whatever it is. But what numbers are going to help you to reach there? We don't want to be in the habit of knowing all the numbers that are bad. Like when people are overweight, they know their number. Nobody knows what their blood pressure number is until their blood pressure is high or their blood pressure is dangerously low. But do you know how many contacts you usually make before you close a deal? Do you know how many how much response your video gets and how many sales that brings to you? Do you know like how many practice sessions you go to before you land that one gymnastics trick? I mean, whatever your goal is, you got to know your numbers that get you there. Do you know your budget? Like if you are trying to scale your business, do you know what your business budget is and how much of it goes to marketing, how much of it goes to this, how much does it go to that? It is a numbers game. So when you're putting out less, you're being efficient with your numbers, like you're putting out less and getting a bigger effect, I mean, then you have more and more profit, But you also want to put out more so that you can get more. So when it comes to scaling, you definitely want to, know your numbers.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
And yeah, that does make, and I know exactly what you're talking about, when you're going into a new business or a new venture, of course you need to do some research on what it takes, what it entails to start the business, to build the business, and to go over, the finances that you really want to get back.
Yeah.
Because you're going to definitely put out some funds in starting a business. So, she's right. It's always about numbers.
It's a numbers game. And we love that down. Now, we're not discounting. We are not, let me speak correctly. We are not discounting the dream.
Right.
Because the dream has got to be there.
Right. Right.
Have you ever heard someone who is very highly successful and they talk about back in the day when they were dreaming about a moment just like this? They dreamed about that moment, and that moment didn't magically happen. That vision started to come to pass because they saw the backdrop of it, or they saw the costumes that they would be wearing. But then, guess what they had to do? They had to take a step, go to the costume places that had those kind of things. They had to shop around for it. They had to look for their, equipment, and they had to, get the sound system right. All of these things were steps in the direction toward their goal. So
exactly.
The dream, the vision is so important.
Yeah, the vision, imagination is so powerful.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because it has to do with vision.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to definitely spur you on to oh my God, I want this. I know I can do this, because that vision, the mind is so powerful.
Yeah.
And, talking about the mind, if you don't mind me interjecting, I was also, always, there's so many good books that we have out there. So one of the books that I have been looking at recently was Think and Grow Rich. Almost everybody probably heard of that book. But it is a powerful book. So just a little bit of what the author was talking about is Think and Grow Rich is one of the universally recognized personal development masterpieces.
Oh yeah, it's a masterpiece.
Yes, it is. Yes. And so the book's philosopher centers around the idea that success may or many endeavors can be reached through mental visualization and imagination. At point to point, it simply terms, or if I'm saying that right,
yeah, to put
it in simple terms, you
Break
can
it down.
become anything your mind dreams possible. That's powerful right there. That's powerful, but it's true. But like Vanessa was saying, there are steps. There is sacrifice, and it has to do with your drive, your discipline, your motivation, your enthusiasm. You know, it's all of that in a just become a ball of fire. That's one of my personal things. It's like a desire you can't let hold of, but it is the power of your imagination. Yeah. And again, the sky is the limit. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like, I'll give you an example, personal example of something that happened to me a while back. I was in the military, and I wanted to go overseas to work as a contractor. I never saw this coming, but anyway, I'm gonna make it short. So I came home from the military. I got my paperwork together. I had to submit some paperwork to the military because, of course, I was retiring. I'm not telling my age. I was retiring. So after that, I had already taken my physical for the job, and in 2 months' time, after my physical, less than 2 months, I was right back overseas. I thought it was like, it was unimaginable. But it was imagination. I had already decided in my mind that I applied for the job before I left to come home while in the military. After I got home, I took the physical, and after that, submitted it to the company I was working for. They had me a plane ticket within less than 2 weeks. Everybody was like, "You doing what? You going where?" But it was mine. It was my vision, and it was my imagination. And of course, you know, it had to do with finances, fortunately. Well, everything does.
It does. We talked about that, you know.
Everything has to do with finances.
Can't leave money out of the conversation.
Well, I think we talked about that in our last episode as well, but it's in every episode. Mm-hmm. Every time you walk out the door, you're spending money. You're going to get gas. You're going to get the kids something to eat. You might be coming back home from work or coming back home from an event. You're running late. You need some juice. You need some... Every day you leave the home. So once again, I just wanted to share that with you all, that I'm telling you, imagination is powerful.
Yeah.
Imagination and visualization.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of you out there have done it and are doing it. Don't stop. And teach your kids to do that too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Have an imagination. Mm-hmm. You know, and we had there were a lot of people who used their imagination to get them to some of the best of places.
Oh yeah.
And the next step, that action step, is so important too, because like you were saying, when you wanted to go back into the military, back overseas, back to these exotic places and all of that, not only did you like say, I imagine to be here, and then you also took the steps and you did the application and you did this and you did that. You know, just like a lot of people who are, you know, planning to go to college someday, then, you know, you think about where you want to go, and then you start filling out those applications. And then while you're filling out those applications, if you think doing one thing is going to make you look better to a college, like maybe you want to get into, take some college courses ahead of time, go ahead and do those so they'll be under your belt. No matter what you're doing, it's so important to keep building the resume in the direction that you want to go. I was listening to someone the other day who said a lot of people either have a dream that they're working towards or they're not. You know, and definitely you want to think about and be very clear and have it written down, the goals that you want to have, because that's the only way that you're going to reach them. We are naturally, as humans, set up for success. Like, it is very natural for humans to be successful at everything, but our default setting is on failure. So if you don't flip the switch to success, then you're still on the default, which is failure. So it's so important to flip that switch, start imagining, start writing those things down so that you can work in that direction. Yes. Because you're always going in one direction or the other.
Right.
You know, because life is not something that is in limbo. You are going in one direction. My mom used to always say, if you're not helping, you're hurting.
Wow.
And I took that in a lot of different ways over my lifetime, because at first, I was thinking, when she said it, I thought it was so literal. Like if I wasn't helping to clean up the kitchen and then I was hurting because I kept on messing it up. I'm just, eating stuff and like throwing it here, throwing it there. But then another time in my life, I thought if you're not helping, you're hurting. It could be that if you're not helping people and serving people with the gifts that you have, and then you're going to be hurting. You're not going to be earning what you should be earning. You're not going to be, you're going to be hurting in every possible way, spiritually, mentally, physically, socially. You will be hurting if you're not helping, if you're not serving. There are a lot of different ways to take it. But taking action is so important. Miles, which I just love him as a mentor of mine, was talking about how he took his son to a toy store. Yeah. And, in the toy store, they have all these colorful, fantastic toys that your kids get in there. They want to play with all the toys, and he took his kids there because he was seeing like what they would want to play with, what they might be interested in. And his son got on this rocking horse, and he was rocking that horse, and he was rocking. He was so enthusiastic about this horse. He was rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth. And when he tried to get him off of this rocking horse, he didn't want to get off. He got upset. The little boy was like, this is my jam right here. So he kept rocking on that horse. Right. So he kind of left him there to go and see about what the other kids were doing, and he and his wife. And then he came back like 15 minutes later. He came back. The boy was still rocking on the horse back and forth. He was wet. Wow. Sweating, rocking on this horse. But in all reality, it was fun, but he wasn't going anywhere. And so we want to be careful not to do that in our life, just to be on this rocking horse, rocking. I'm busy.
Not being productive.
But it's not being productive because you're not heading in the direction that you have already predestined to be going in. So you want to be sure that you have a vision that you're going towards, so that you're not just rocking, just sweating, and then all you're doing is really wearing clothes and eating food.
Right.
And you spent your whole life just doing that.
Right. And that goes back to what we were saying about when you have these visions or your imagination is running with you, away from you or towards you, because you want definitely things to happen. Get your notebook, get your journal, get your cell phone, get your computer, and you need to write it down. I'm a firm believer about that because as you know, most professionals, presidents of CEOs of companies, they have a journal. They have a vision board like we're talking about. If not a vision board, they have a map. And it starts from the beginning and the end of their business venture. And that's how you do it. You have to map it out. I tell you, you will love it. I've done it, and I've looked back in my journal 5 years later, and I'm like, oh my God, I have the house I wanted. Oh my God, I went to college. I said I was going to college like 10 years ago, but I wrote it down. Within those 10 years, I'm like, oh my God, it actually happens. I don't know how the universe makes it happen. I know we do have a very important part in making it happen, but for me, I'm telling you, write it down. The Bible even says, our people perish for the lack of knowledge, but not just that. He says to write it down and make it plain. And write it down and make it plain.
So that when others see it, they may run also.
Exactly. So you need to write down your vision from start to finish. And it can be bullets. I personally don't write down intimate stuff. Now, whatever you choose to do with your life and for your life, I will never tell nobody what to do in that case. But I'm just talking about as far as your destiny actually mapping it out. Because I know there are people around the world that do that. Young kids, teenagers, I'm going to be a movie star. They be playing in their room and, acting and doing like that. Yeah. And then they might stop. in elementary school, and they might go into something else, but that desire, they put that vision and that dream and that imagination in, and then next thing you know, when they get to high school, they go into acting. And they're like, well, I think I want to try this. They think, but they had already put it in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So write it down. It works, y'all. You can even make a 3-month goal or 3-month vision board, come back after 3 months, or either write it down within 3 months, within 6 months, and within a year. This is where I see myself. This is where I want to be. And I'm telling you, I believe it. I believe it with all my heart. You will see results.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Long-term goals, short-term goals.
Yes.
Write them all down.
Write them all down.
And they don't even have to be in order. Just start writing them down. Just start writing. It will be so much fun. But then the part that's even more fun is when it starts to manifest in your life. And you're like, wow, I said that. That's so cool. I did want to be on a show. Shout out to Boss Up Houston.
That's what's up.
And then also, I wanted to say something else. Whenever you're visualizing and you're thinking and all this, this really does require a certain amount of brain power. So when you use your brain power and you're working on the things that you are trying to do for your life, it's also important to know how to delegate. Because sometimes, in our vision, we want to be doing an activity that will be let's say if you get paid $50 an hour. And so when you're working at $50 an hour, like that's your rate, or maybe even $100 an hour. Let's make it $100 an hour. So if you're working at $100 an hour rate, there are certain things that you are expected to do at that $100 an hour rate. So you want to find yourself doing those $100 an hour activities. You don't want to find yourself doing $5 an hour activities for most of your day. You have to keep it at those $100,000 an hour rate activities. So if you get paid to think and come up with ideas for people, that's what you need to be doing. Then you don't need to be doing, laundry for 12 hours out of the day, cooking food for this amount of time out of the day. Those things need to be delegated to someone else so that most of your time can be spent doing the things that you actually get paid the big bucks for, so that you can, delegate those other activities out. So I was, one of my friends has she was always cutting her yard. She's a single lady. And so she cuts her yard like every weekend, but she also does speaking engagements. So for the speaking engagements, she gets like thousands of dollars to go and speak at speaking engagements. Then she was coming home, and on the weekends, she was cutting yards and things like that, when really that time should have been going towards like her planning out her speaking engagements and things like that, because that's what's really paying her the big bucks. She needs to have her mental capacity going towards what she's really getting paid for. Her son, who I thought could have cut the yard too, but anyway, her son paid someone to cut her yard for her. Wow. And that freed up her time to do something else. He paid a younger kid, that's awesome, in the neighborhood to cut the yard. And so she came home, she was like, who cut my yard? Right. Yeah. But at the same time, she was excited about it because she did have other things to do. She's a businesswoman. Yeah. So she needed to be doing things that businesswomen do. Exactly. Right. So even delegating out those tasks like that will allow you to be even better at what you do, because I know we say some people are professional basketball players. Some people are professional singers. Some people are professional football players. And we give a lot of respect to those people in their professions. But we all are professionals in whatever it is that we do, and we really must treat it that way. Because if someone says that they are a professional photographer, then they want to treat photography as their profession and get so proficient in it that people can't help but to invest in them. Yes. Because they're such a professional at what they do. Exactly. If someone is a professional teacher, then they need to respect that craft and that position in a way that they function professionally. If someone is a professional singer, you don't want to just stop at, I sing at just events that my friends have. Take that craft seriously, and really invest in that skill so that you can be at the professional level. I mean, Beyonce, she won't mind if somebody's up there with her caliber with her,
Right.
Invest and try to get there. You want to be the leader in whatever field it is that you're in, as a professional.
Yes, you
Professions don't stop at football, basketball. We are all professionals.
Right.
So, to treat your profession as a professional is the best.
Is the best, definitely. Knowledge is definitely worth a lot. So you, like you said, you definitely want to educate yourself as much as you can, and just one of the things that we do research. We research authors. We research. It could be if we're talking about medical, anything in the medical field. You want to research something in the medical field, and Google and or research the medical field about doctors, nurses, neurologists, the brain. I even look at YouTube videos, and you know what? Speaking of that, that's another way that you also can improve not just improve, but the sky is the limit. Research, right?
That's
and back to what I was just saying, YouTube videos. I go there all the time, and look at things that I'm interested in as far as business. It could be technology. It could be how to make a good dessert. It could be how to make a lasagna. I want a different lasagna. I might not want just the original lasagna that's out there. I want to get something different going on. But like you said, just on your craft. Whatever field that you're interested in going in. Oh my God, YouTube. The YouTube is now named YouTube University.
YouTube
University, because it's got everything on there. Now I'm not saying you can do everything that's on there, because I've tried some
things they say don't try this at home, and they say that for a reason.
Yeah, like
don't try everything,
especially when you're using your computer to do something. If you don't know what you're doing. Depending on who you are, it's up to you. But hey, you just might need to get another eyes on it, or either call up your girlfriend, call up whoever, husband, boyfriend, whoever, sister, uncle, because sometimes you might need a little bit more help in that area.
I love that. We are going to take a short commercial break.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys back here. We can't wait to come back and talk some more.
Yes.
See you guys soon.
All right.
With every moment I've experienced with you, I put into a space of forever. And we can compromise what most misuse, 'cause only love will keep us together.
I love these kisses.
I don't know what it is. But I can't shake this feeling. Sensational bliss from conversational perspectives. And just think, we ain't even got into the thick of it. I want to be lost in love with you, but also find our way. I want to dig deep in the mud with you and outgrow every obstacle that comes from day to day. I don't know what it is. It's making me go all in, and I ain't looking or thinking about who, what, why, or when. It's the intelligence for me, the confidence and swag, the happiness in knowing he can get the bag. I wish we knew what the future holds, but until then, we'll just keep hitting future goals. I'll just keep doing what I do, 'cause baby, all you need is me, and all I need is you.
guys, it's your girl Millionaire Matchmaker, and you know what? How we do it? We got a huge singles event coming up 1 week from today. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, it is, and I'm your boy DJ Houston, and we're here to tell you about our singles event. We're doing
speed dating in the dark, aka glow in the dark speed dating,
and we're bringing you musical love chairs. You know how fun it is to bump somebody out of their chair. Get out of my chair.
You get out of my chair.
Hey, make sure you go and check out our event at the Amber Neal Show on Facebook. Tickets are live. And
come hungry. We have pasta, salad, and fruit included in the ticket price, and it's BYOB. Come for the networking, red carpet, and fun. And hey, is there any price you won't pay for love?
Exactly. So make sure y'all guys go check out that event at the Amber Neal Show on Facebook, and we will see you there. Maridate, Houston's first private social club for couples.
We are the Adolphs.
Willie and Tequila.
We're blessed and honored to be asked to be a host couple for Maridate.
We have been a part of each other's lives for so many years.
We partied hard and worked harder.
We have 4 adult children and 2 fur babies.
We are entrepreneurs, and we work together for over 20 years.
We have been married since 1999 through thick and thin, sickness and health, through troubles and triumphs, struggles and all victories. But God.
We built it up.
We built it up.
We built it up. And now we're solid. Solid as a rock. We are the Adolphs.
Join Maridate today by visiting www.maridate.com.
Hello,
Hey,
and welcome back to Race to Wealth on the Boss of Houston Network.
Yes,
We're so excited that you guys are joining us here today. Today we've been talking about the sky is the limit, and just talking about how really anything that you can imagine to do, it definitely can happen for you. If you can conceive it in your mind, then it is possible for you to do that thing.
Exactly.
To accomplish that goal.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's just writing it down, taking action, and conquering that thing. You know.
Yeah.
I did want to, there have been a couple of, more than a couple people who have come up against so many challenges in life and have been able to prosper. Sometimes we may think that challenges in our life can hinder us from reaching wherever it is that we want to go.
Right.
But really they're not.
Right.
If you really set it in your mind that this is where I'm going, there are going to be obstacles in the way.
Everybody has them every day.
Everybody has them every day. Life is full of problem,
Right.
crisis,
unforeseen situations. The unforeseen.
But life is always changing, and one of the ways that I think is the best way to deal with change is to create the changes yourself. Because if you are just responding to everything and you're not creating the change yourself, this thing can catch you off guard and that thing can catch you off guard. And there's so many changes coming at you that you don't know how to deal with them. But if you know that change is coming and you plan for this to happen, you plan the change to work in your favor. And then you're more prepared when the change does come. Because life is in seasons.
Yes, it is.
Right, if you are in the season of winter where your heart is broke, your spouse is gone, you don't have any money, you're sick, all kinds of things are happening to you, that is one season of your life. And the great thing is to know that seasons pass. So that too shall pass. So that season will be out and there will be a new season coming in. So when that winter is gone, and then you can look forward to the spring where, you are making money. You are, having love in your life. You are being prosperous, But even in those times, you got to prepare because winter is coming back around again.
And you know what? And what you're saying reminds me of the fact that in all of what she was saying as far as the unforeseen things coming your way, they may come your way, but again, they don't have to stay. Right. So some of the answers, or some of the things that I do is I try to make sure some of my life is surrounded by other people, whereas I can get out of my situation, or I can get encouragement for while I'm going through what I'm going through. Just like, of course, some of the stories we've been talking about, and I can say one of the most powerful stories for me that happened to me was when my mom passed away. I know a lot of millions of people in the world just went through COVID. We've lost so many people in the world, but God, and I have to add that in. For everyone that's listening, that's one of my solutions. But back again, coming back around to what I was saying, putting yourself in a circle of people that will help you to keep your focus, or help you to take your mind off of the problem and start to find a solution, because there's a solution for every problem.
Yeah.
And of course, it is mentally first. You're going to have to fight. And if you have a will and you've been through some things before, you know that that's the answer. And it's going to be all right. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Yes, it is getting around, staying in touch with family, because most of the time family are tight, but a lot of people don't live in the same state where their family is. So you might have friends that that will encourage you and help you to push you forward from that situation. And then, like I said, it's the mind is powerful. You can make it. You can do it. Again, just being around the right circle of people. There's always different organizations that you can get in touch with. You can become a part of, and start to volunteer and help. So that's a way in with some of your situation. Depending on what's going on in your life,
And people are open to that. Sometimes people might think, I don't know if I should, reach out to this person, to be a friend, be friendly, and reach out, and then you can surround yourself with people who are going to help you in all the different situations that you go through.
Right.
I know we've known about a lot of people who have gone through situations that it didn't look good at all. And in the end, because they were focused on their goals and where they were going, they were able to get out of it because they had hope. They still had hope of where they were going.
Right.
And because that hope kept them together, kept them striving for something that they were, they wanted to live up to, that they wanted to live into.
Yes.
So that hope kept them.
Yes.
Kept them moving.
Yeah.
Kept them moving.
Kept them moving. I had also read up on another author that had written a book about a young man that was traumatized through through bullying and physical abuse in his home, as well as at school. And we think that oh my God, but this person going forward, this person now is of course he fought through high school. He was sent to different family members' homes and things like that, and they sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. He had teachers to encourage him to stay in school, and then again, and on the side note, he had friends that were out in the streets doing the wrong thing. But because of the teachers encouraging him to go into football, he decided to go the other way. So life is a decision, y'all. We have to make a choice. If you have to make a decision. I am not going to sit here and be sad about my situation. I'm going to see where I can get help or what I can do. Life is, it's a decision.
Yeah.
But this young man, up to date, graduated from college. He also has written numerous of books, and he teaches at a college. He is a professor. So you never happy, and you never know where your life is going to go, or but he was always putting a foot forward to wanting something better in life, even at that age, and then not just for young adults, but also for people in their 40s and 50s. You can turn your life around at any time. Thank you. At any time and at any age, you just make the decision that I'm not going to sit here and let my credit be all messed up and I can't get a house, I can't get a car. No, you need to call Delcine Thomas. 832. Well, I'm gonna let you tell your name. Delcine Thomas. 832-458-8960.
Or Vanessa Harrison, 936-668-6355.
We're always looking to help people to get into a new home or a new apartment, or if you need life insurance, or if you need a boost your credit score,
or some budgeting, or any of the tools. There are so many tools that we have that keep people focused on being healthy financially.
There you go.
You know, so that's one of the things that we do is to help people get the vision for where they want to go with their finances. You've got to say, okay, with my finances, I'm tired of doing this. I want to head in this direction. Right. My portfolio needs to have this, and this in it.
That's right.
And that's what we do. We help you on the roadmap of exactly how to get there financially.
That's right. Yes. And even if you want to own your own business, we help you with that as well. Mm-hmm. Definitely. But, for the most part, just definitely refocus your thinking, and you can have what you say. That is a saying. A lot of people have used that a lot, but it is true. If you have to keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it, you can make it work. You can make it happen. You can even make it happen for your children. You know, it's just, like I said, it's mind focused and persistence, and don't stop till you get it. Right. Some things can happen fast, and then some things may take a little bit more time. Right. It's just like you bringing up a child. Start from 1 year old until 18 years old. You're going to have to train them in the way that they should go. And they're going to have all those obstacles around them. They're going to have brothers and sisters. They're going to have family members. They're going to have their friends in school. And you're going to be just like a drill sergeant in the military. I have a friend right now back home.
Is
it
me? Okay.
She is one of my friends as well. And it's okay because somebody did it for us. You know. Yeah. I don't have kids right now, but I have nieces and nephews. And so my focus will be on them. Every time I see them, I'm helping my family members to be I'm the second in charge, just like the supervisor. I might not be the CEO, but I'm the what is it? I think it's the COO. The COO of our family. Because if they call me with a situation, I'm going to give it to them right. You have a job? And you talking about your mother did what? No, you need to do what she said, because you can't even buy your own shoes, clothes, or anything else. Let me get off of that. But anyway.
But yeah, they're limited.
Financial future. We're talking about finances.
Yeah.
And family.
And you take some of the limits off. You take some of your limits off whenever you can financially do it yourself, whenever you're independent.
Exactly.
And then you take off all of these other restrictions that people put on you. Because sometimes if you have to depend on other people and then you have a lot of restrictions on you, you might feel like you're chained in because they have say over how you come and go and how you handle everything. So financial freedom is one of those things that we all want to strive for and dream for, that so that you can handle everything yourself. Mm-hmm. And then it's better to give than to receive anyway. Mm-hmm. Because if you're giving, you don't have the same restrictions as if you were receiving from someone, and then they can set out the guidelines. Well, if I'm going to give you this, then I need you to do this and this and this and this and this and this, and you're like, oh my gosh. And there was a study, I'm into studies. There's a study. I think it was Brian Tracy who did the study in one of his books, and he said he was talking about people and the psychology of people and money, and he said they did a research on people and what they wanted to do with their life, and one of the questions was, if money was not an issue at all, you had more money than you knew what to do with, like we were talking about the other time. You have so much money. Money is not an obstacle, is not a problem at all.
Right.
What would you do? So the people started naming. They said, well, if I didn't have to worry about money, I would do this and that and this and that. They were dreaming it up, what they would do.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
And The part that was so like stumping was that the people were naming things like they would paint more, they would read more, they would spend more time with their kids, they would, go out on a boat, they would go for walks every day with their pets and their kids, and they started naming all of these things that were free. And money is not an issue at all. You don't have to worry about it. And all of these people, thousands and thousands of people, they started naming things that were really free. So really, and then when people get a lot of money, they start buying their freedom. So your money goes towards giving you more freedom.
Yes.
Time to spend with your family.
Yes.
Time to read a book. Time to do all of these things because people want their freedom. So financial freedom is what we're striving for.
We're all striving for. That's why you work a job for 20 years to
And that's
retire. Because you want to be free of having to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah.
But it takes finances. So you're looking to set yourself in a position so you can do that. And that's what we definitely assist people with.
And then that's the reason why so many people who are successful, they budget so that they could have more of the freedoms that it takes. Because sometimes if you have a vision and your time and energy is going towards that vision, then slowly but surely you're going to be saying no to other things that don't pertain to your vision. Just no, I'm not doing that. It doesn't have anything to do with where you're going.
Right?
No, I'm not doing that. It becomes so easy to say no to everything that's not towards your vision.
Yeah, and you tend to you tend to get focused. You mean like you said, it's just like you said. I mean, I felt that when she said that because that is so true. When you want that, that's all you got your mind on. I never sat in my computer in my office for 3 to 4 hours like I do now. Because that's where I'm working from, and I got to get things done. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself as a woman, I'm like, oh, I want to run to the store. I'm like, and I tell myself, I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying right here until I get this done. I mean, and that's why that's how you have to be. You got to be laser focused sometimes to accomplish, the small things, like we were talking about, the 3-month goal. You focus in, like she said, preparation. One thing I have to say is one thing I love about my business partner here. She was sharing with me how she has a calendar and she set up the calendar for her children. I thought that was so special. I was like, oh my God, I had never heard that. Now, I know there are thousands and millions of women and men out there that do that, but for the ones that don't, hello, Miss Vanessa Hurst. Yes. Yeah, she told me that.
They like doing their calendar and keeping up with it,
That's
and
beautiful.
They have my oldest daughter, she wants to be on the schedule to get paid. And then my other daughter, they want to be on schedule to have pizza parties and things like that, but they know they've got to check off these other things, get those done before they can have the pizza party and before they can have a pool party and things like that.
Right. So are some of these things at home that you have them to check off as well, fold their clothes or put their clothes here and things like that.
Yeah.
And then
have
they can
laminating things, and folding things,
laminate.
And everything.
Oh.
Yes, lamination is a job in my house.
But that's good because then they can mark the things off with a marker, and you can use the same calendars or whatever.
And my oldest daughter, she made our calendar for our routine, our morning routine. First you wake up, then stretch, then brush your teeth, make up the bed, blah blah blah. So she put it all there. So whenever we get up in the morning, then we can check off each thing. And she's so proud of it. I'm so proud of it too. Things like that.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking business wise, right? I was just thinking everybody. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, ooh, she could have put that in a book.
Hey, I might put it in there.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Aren't you coming out with one?
Yes, I am. I'm coming out with a couple of them.
Eventually, she's going to surprise you. Because I'm telling you, how many women and men don't do that? I mean, I believe there are millions of people that might not do that because they feel like they never thought about it until we just mentioned it.
Maybe.
I mean,
it made sense for my
I had to learn it from other business professionals. So we're talking about family now.
Yeah.
To put that on the calendar.
Yeah.
You know, to help the kids to be more, and that's making them helping them to be more interactive with you as a parent.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're couples, that's even better because you got them on a schedule while you got your mom and dad's schedule. You know, you want to get up, do this. You want football, put them on the schedule to do something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then while they doing that, put a timer on your phone. Okay, let me go.
I gotta work. Let me go work.
Well, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, put a timer already. You know, I've told them to do this at this time and that time, and he want to watch football. Well, you can watch football for that hour, but put them on the schedule. Mm-hmm. I like that, Vanessa. I don't know where that came from, y'all, but that was what's up.
We're trying to get to the sky. The sky's the limit.
The sky's the limit, and you gotta take. You know, in every area of your life, there's something going on.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. So listen, we have really enjoyed chatting it up with you guys today. We want to encourage you to have a vision, to write it down, put it in pictures, words, however you write it down. Take action. Take action towards those steps and get it done.
Get it done.
And
you
dominate.
Start now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this has been another episode of Race to Wealth, where we focus on your financial health on the Boss Up Houston Network. To reach out to Boss Up Houston Network, go to bossuphouston@gmail.com. Also, you can reach me at VanissaHarrison.com and Delcine at
racetowealth.com.
Yes. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.
Great chatting it up with you. Bye.